Good morning, traders, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on the time you're watching this video. If you're new to this YouTube channel, please like this video, share, and subscribe. It's another day, another dollar to make. So on today's video, I'm going to be doing a precession analysis on Euro USD, and I'm going to be starting from the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, my swing structure is bullish. This is my swing structure. This is my strong swing low. This is my weak swing high. That is the bullish break of structure, confirming the bullish break of structure, meaning currently price is bullish. So last week, was it on last week? On 27th? No, the last week but one, we got that swing pullback. Price mitigated the EQ of the swing range and has also mitigated the top of this fractal range. And from that, we got this huge reaction. But it's always good to view, to image what price is likely to form or what is trying to form. So currently, this bullish reaction, it could mean two things. It could be that price is likely forming the next swing leg, because we can see price mitigated the EQ of the range. It's not a must for price to mitigate demand. If you keep holding on the thought that price is a must to mitigate demand, you might miss a lot of good trades. So in this case, price could have mitigated demand, the top of the range and the discount of the range, and maybe that could help facilitate the next bullish swing leg. And also, this bullish reaction could mean that it's just an internal pullback, and price could now be forming the next internal leg, so price can start forming that internal structure to facilitate the deep swing pullback. It's always good to have an image of what price is forming. If let's say, like for example, if let's say we are in a bullish trend, price has mitigated, let's say, demand, and you're trying to long from the demand to target the weak swing high. If let's say price has mitigated deep into the demand and you're buying low at the low, you see in this case, if you buy and if we get a bullish reaction, if you look closely, you can see price is forming some equal lows. So meaning, if you buy at this low, price could be forming liquidity, and the reaction from the demand could be just a reaction, and then we see a failed reaction for price to target the sell liquidity. It's always good to have an image of what price is forming or will form, like how price will look like after. So in this case, it's either price is forming an internal structure, or it could be price is forming the next swing leg. But since after the swing break of structure, we got that sweep of this buy sell liquidity above this high. This is a strong high. It had broken a fractal low, a low, meaning it's a strong high, meaning the sweep is a strong sweep. And also price has mitigated the monthly supply. I'm more bearish than bullish in this case, because there's still cause for lower prices. We can see price even hasn't mitigated this demand, and we also have extreme demand for price to mitigate. And another thing is, I don't want to read much into this price action that is forming here. I don't like following internal fractal order flow, but even if you try to read the internal fractal order flow, we can see, let me use this, you can see the push up, and then you can see from the next candle, it's a bearish candle, meaning it was the opening, price opened here, it pushed up, and then it went down, and then once it closed, the bullish candle opened, and then it formed that high, and then it came like this, like this, like this. So now we can see from the internal fractal order flow, we can see price has broken this internal fractal high. And now after breaking this internal fractal high, let me just use this so I can draw it clearly so it can be seen. So we can see after price breaking this fractal high, it popped up, and you can see this. Let me just drag this to the side. We can see after this fractal break of structure, price has pulled back to this fractal range over here. It has mitigated that range, and it could be the probably why we are seeing this reaction. So we can maybe it could be a reaction to for price to pull back to this demand. So that's another way we can what's the word, we can validate sales. Even another way we can validate sales, probably to this fractal range, fractal internal order flow, internal fractal order flow, fractal order flow, internal fractal order flow. So I'm more bearish than bullish on the daily, but then I use daily for my buyers. Let me show you how I use the daily for my buyers. So within market structure, there's three types of structure. There's the fractal order flow, the internal order flow, and the swing structure. So fractal order flow helps us to signal the start and end of internal pullback. Internal order flow signals for us the start and end of the swing pullback. So if, let's say, this is price forming fractal order flow, so I can keep following this fractal order flow. By following this, it gives me a bullish bias. Once it shifts bearish, I know it's a signal for start of internal pullback. So I can follow the order flow. And let's say this was a strong internal low. So I know this order flow will not remain bearish forever. It will mitigate, let's say, an internal demand. And once it shifts bullish, I just know it's just for price to target the weak internal high. Then in this case, I'll be looking for longs only. So if, let's say, this is the fractal structure, so I will look for longs either from here, or once price pulls back to the fractal demand that caused the fractal order flow, the fractal boss, then I look for longs from here, or I look for longs within here. But then I will need to do a separate video so that I don't waste much time here. But so in the 4 hour time frame, this fractal order flow can be a huge, it's a huge structure. It's a let's say an internal structure or a swing structure. So in this case, if we are here looking for the continuation of the internal structure for the 4 hour, for the daily fractal order flow, it means on the 4 hour it can be a fractal structure. You see, then I look for longs. I can look for longs from it. Then once 4 hour fractal order flow shifts bearish, I know it's a signal for the daily fractal pullback. And once 4 hour fractal shifts bullish, I know it's a signal that the daily fractal high is about to be targeted, and I look for longs targeting that fractal high. So I hope you all get it. So even here, so like right now, the way this internal structure is, although the price hasn't formed much internal structure within here, but after the sweep of this high, we can see the pullback. So this is this you can view it as just internal pullback and swing pullback and also fractal pullback. So now that price has pulled back to this zone, we can expect it to hold to form that high. But within this fractal order flow, price has also formed this internal fractal order flow, which is now likely forming maybe the internal pullback. And once it shifts bearish, it's a signal that fractal order flow will shift bearish. So now that price we've gotten that fractal boss here, and price has mitigated this zone, we can look for shorts to this zone, and then we can follow this internal fractal order flow. But although I don't recommend following it, but because what I recommend is following fractal order flow internals. Although in this case, the fractal low is way below here, so it is not that much important right now. But we can use this internal fractal order flow. But I'm hurrying up so that I don't waste much time. Okay, so let's continue. So let's drop down to them for our time frame. But I hope you all understood how I get my daily buyers. And also, let me also add. So I will just do a separate video explaining how I do my daily buyers. Okay, so on the 4 hour time frame, my swing structure is bullish. This is my strong swing low. This is my weak swing high. And that is the bullish breakout structure that confirmed the bullish breakout structure. Within the swing range, this is the swing range. there is this internal structure. So this internal structure has been bearish to facilitate the swing pullback. So price pulled back, mitigated the supply that caused the internal break of structure, and after mitigation, we can see order flow shifted bearish here. So now this order flow could remain bearish until price takes out the weak internal low. From the daily time frame, this fractal order flow is facilitating the pullback to this internal fractal low. And also, by the way, you can see even from you see this internal fractal order flow. The way I was saying on the higher time frame, a fractal structure can be a significant structure on the lower time frame. So in this case, you can see on the daily time frame, this was the break of the internal fractal high, this high, and on the 4-hour time frame, we can see it's a significant order structure. It's an internal. In this case, it's an II structure, internal structure. So even this fractal order flow shift could be a pullback to this low, and this low could hold and price could target. But I usually love just to use the three types of structure. Don't like to add more structures to complicate things. If you add more in trading, you need to be as simple as you can. You don't need to complicate things. So we can see order flow is bearish. It could be to signal the end of the swing pullback, internal pullback, and price could likely now target the forward internal low. So for today's session, from the daily time frame, I'm bearish. So on the 4-hour time frame, I want to follow this order flow. But we can see price has been ranging from yesterday. Price is ranging within this new candle of yesterday. That was formed after NFP, but it was formed during and this candle opened before NFP, but it's still a news candle. So we can see price is ranging in between. So meaning on the lower time frame, we can see price ranging in here. But overall, I'm bearish. So price has mitigated this fractal demand, and also it caused the II boss. This II low could hold, but I don't want to weigh much importance on that. This is the move I'm expecting. But also, we can see swing structure is the largest structure. It's the king. So we can see price pullback. We can see the strong liquidation. Price pullback to the EQ of the swing range, and from that we can see price has been forming. It could be now price is forming this order flow, and this could be respected until price takes out the weak swing high. But the internal high is still holding, so we can expect this move. So for today, since price is coming from this demand, I want to see price pull back to this supply. Then from here, I will be interested in shorts to target this low. For longs, we can look for, since price is coming from the high time frame, price is from the daily time frame, price has mitigated this range. Maybe this could help facilitate the next swing leg. So we can longs are still valid. So we can, now that price is coming from this forward demand, we can look for longs to play this fractal pullback to this supply. Yeah, and we can see even this descending lows here. It could be liquidity to target on the way up. It could be prices forming buy sell liquidity for price to target on the way up, for price to mitigate supply, and also that buy sell liquidity could also help to form them. Could be the liquidity that will be used for this POI for price to push down to target the fractal low. So that's all. Another way, but if we get a pop-up and price breaks and closes above this high, we will have a failed reaction from this supply. It will be a good signal, by the way, for longs, that price will likely target this high and potentially this high. So if we see a pop-up, price breaks and closes above this high, I'll be more interested with the longs, and I'll look to follow this order flow to the weak swing high. So that's all for the 4 time frame. Let's drop down to the M15 time frame. So on the M15, but I've reset my swing structure to this. It was the internal range. It was my previous internal range, but I've reset it to my swing structure. This is because when a higher time frame I get a significant break of structure, like an internal break of structure or a swing break of structure, then I usually shift my swing structure on the lower time frame to be like, it's like I'm trying to catch the fractal order flow of the higher time frame. So in this case, if let's say we had an internal structure here, if let's say this was the swing structure and this was the internal structure, and let's say this internal structure was the 4-hour fractal structure, then I would have viewed this as my swing structure, so that when it's broken, I just see it as a confirmation for the start of the pullback of this larger leg. And once price has pulled back and we see it shift bearish, I know it's a signal that price will target this low. So on the 4-hour time frame, I viewed this as a significant structure. So that's why I've reset my so that's why I've reset this as my, I'm viewing this as my swing M15 swing structure. But it's still okay if you're viewing this as your internal structure. We are still looking for the same thing. So on the M15, my swing structure is bearish, internal is bullish. This is my strong swing high, this is my weak swing low, this is my strong internal low, and this is my weak internal high. So currently price is in the internal pullback phase, and there's still cause for high prices for price to mitigate these supply zones, premium supply zones, although price has also mitigated premium of the range. So the next swing leg could form. And also we can see even this order flow that is forming. Price could be forming it to form the next swing leg. So, but we can look for longs from this demand to supply. We can play this ping pong between price. We can play the reaction from demand, and then once price mitigates supply, we can look for shorts. Even the daily supports both from the way I've shown you all. So we can see price previously pulled back to the top of this range. It reacted, but it's a failed reaction. But we can refine this demand to, let me refine it to this. So maybe price wanted to mitigate the bottom of this range, this inside bar. So during session, to look for longs, to play the deep swing pullback, I'd want to see, this is an old zone, it hasn't been formed during session. So what I'd want to see, but is I'd want to see price pullback sweep, then I see the order flow shift, then I look to follow the bullish order flow to the weak swing high. But an order flow shift currently can be a pullback to this II high. So meaning once price reaches here and you see it shift bearish, you need to be cautious. It could be price now will target the low. As I said earlier, this could be an order flow that is forming for price to target them swing low. Swing structure is the larger time frame. It's the king. It could be respected, not the internal structure. But we are respecting reaction from this demand to supply. For shorts, we can follow this I structure, but I'd want to see price pullback to 4-hour supply. Then you can wait for either order flow shift. Then you can follow it, the order flow to the weak swing low, anticipating the internal reversal, or we can wait for internal to shift bearish to catch phase A shorts, targeting the weak swing low. So I hope I was clear on that precession analysis. But another way is you can wait for order flow shift, and then you can follow the order flow to the weak swing high. I hope I was clear on the video. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment, or you can join my Telegram, and you can DM me anytime, and I'll be happy to answer you. I wish you all a wonderful and a blessed day.